halo.
Young kids and fast cars. It's a deadly mix. And now one of Hollywood's hottest summer movies has young audiences everywhere entranced by dazzling scenes of illegal drag racing. While teenagers are racing through suburban streets is hardly a new phenomenon, several real-life crashes have happened since the movie came out. And as Josh Makowitz tells us, that has many people wondering about the real impact of the Fast and the Furious.
Long Island, New York. A drag race between total strangers ends in death. Oakland, California. A young man dies after racing against his cousin on a city street. Phoenix, Arizona. Murder charges are filed when a pizza delivery driver is broadsided during a race he didn't even enter. And a movie about illegal street racing. Go! Leaves its box office rivals in the dust.
It's a tight racing movie, you know, it's kind of like get you going to like race your car.
If he does, he'll be entering a timeless secret society. Remember the racing in Rebel Without a Cause in 1955? It's happening for real on suburban asphalt in 2001. Tonight, we'll take you to those streets where, for more than 40 years, the common ingredients have been cars, speed, and defiance.
I'm sure everybody after the movie went out and just started racing the first guy they saw.
Michael is 20. He wouldn't give us his last name. How long have you been racing?
First time, as in last Saturday.
What made you start last Saturday?
Probably the movie, Fast and the Furious.
90 minutes of on-screen action and that was it.
I'm hooked.
The cars of real-life street racers don't look much like the ones in the movie. Usually the ride that delivers them to that 9-to-5 paycheck is the same one that later roars down a street next to a deserted office park. And usually what's waiting at the finish line isn't money, it's pride. They're races that last only 10 to 15 seconds, hitting 90 miles per hour over something less than a quarter mile. Maybe you don't think there's any street racing where you live. Well, you're probably wrong. Maybe you don't live in that part of town, or more than likely, you're just going to bed too early, because most racing doesn't begin until after midnight. In the small hours, there's less chance another car will accidentally get in the way, and less chance of discovery, because as the drivers well know, street racing is completely illegal, and that's part of the thrill.
Well, on Friday and Saturday nights, those are our heaviest nights. We will have anywhere from 500 to 1,000 people out here and anywhere from 300 to 400 cars. They're here for the girls, they're here for the alcohol, they're here for the ecstasy, they're here for the excitement, the speed, and basically the big festival attitude.
With that many guys and that many cars, there's really no stopping them. You just show up and break it up and chase them away and they go somewhere else.
Basically, that's what we do.
Ontario, California police detective Mike Macias worries about the difference between the real world and the one shown on celluloid.
The problem with Fast and the Furious is that it's Hollywood and they have controlled crashes and they have controlled races. Out here, it's all uncontrolled and you're at the mercy of physics. So what goes fast is going to stop fast and hard.
On the other hand, a body in motion tends to remain in motion. This Racer X is named Roger. We watched him race and win and race again. How fast were you going?
I don't know, I don't have a speedometer.
What he does have is an old Carmen Ghia, a new engine, and rocket fuel in his veins.
I just like to go fast.
Under the hood, you'll find most of Roger's money and almost all of his free time. Now, when I'm on the freeway out here, are you the guy tailgating me, the guy flying past me at 100 miles an hour?
Probably.
It's a hobby, it's a passion, it's a way of life. It gets into your blood and it stays there. That's the problem.
Craig Lieberman understands Roger's attitude. He's a former street racer who's gone legit. He was the technical advisor on the Fast and the Furious. That's Craig. Starting the race.
I met this guy the other day, Roger, who works on his car all day and then races his car all night. Sound familiar?
Yeah, it's not atypical.
What happens to guys like that?
They wind up very good at their craft, and by the time they're my age, they're a respected member of the racing community, or they're an accomplished racer.
Or they're dead.
Or they're dead if they stick to street racing.
Lieberman thinks the film is a realistic depiction of what happens on the pavement, from the roar of the engines to what can go wrong.
They're showing you that there are consequences to those actions. It's really up to the beholder as to what they interpret from the message portrayed on the screen.
Where the film really fails, I think, is to show the death, the damage to property, the people who live in the area, how they're afraid to come out at night.
Philomene Pearson is a deputy district attorney in Los Angeles. She runs a county task force on illegal street racing. And to her, the Fast and the Furious is a big screen commercial for breaking the law.
Fast and the Furious?
I think that it may encourage other people to get involved in racing. More importantly, it's going to encourage more people to go out and watch the races. The spectators fuel the races by their mere presence.
As long as they're not racing, what difference does it make if people want to show up and watch somebody else race?
Because they are, in effect, in an unlawful assembly. They are violating the law.
The night the movie opened, the LAPD issued 212 citations at this illegal street race. The filmmakers are careful to mention that they put a disclaimer on the screen, warning potential racers not to try doing it themselves. While that is technically true, keep in mind the disclaimer, yes, that's it, goes by fast and furiously after the ending credits. And by that time, most of the people in the audience were already racing for their cars.
It's a